ladies and gentlemen. As always, thank you very much for supporting us, supporting our events and exhibitions and our artists throughout 15 years of Gnani Art's existence. A round of applause, please. Thank you. So, sometimes you need to ask for that because you don't realize 15 years is a big deal.
Yes.
Yeah, so let's not be too humble about all that, yeah. But it has been quite a journey, and I thought this year we should not just have a 15th anniversary exhibition or event. It's just too simple. So any exhibition or event that happens this year is a 15th anniversary celebration. So this Gautama Buddha exhibition is vibrating with that energy tonight. As I've mentioned earlier in my exhibitions, as a curator I've been researching on images, the significance of images, the impact of images in our daily lives, and of course historically and art historically, of course, more towards the arts naturally, and of course as personalizations by artists and individuals throughout the world, of course. And this exhibition is of course naturally an extension of that research, image making, image deciphering. And that is very important because without us realizing, every day we are being bombarded by many images, not necessarily religious always, but without us realizing, we actually think in images more than alphabets. That is something to think about for everybody, of course. And there are many things we don't realize about ourselves. And so it's important to use images, which is very much part of our subconscious mind as well, to find out more about ourselves, our understanding of ourselves and the environment that we have to deal with on a daily basis. So on that note, I also have to talk about the metaphysical hero of the exhibition, which is Gautama Buddha. And although he's supposed to be metaphysical, he has become physical. And we can't avoid it because once again, we are image makers. There's an image maker in all of us. So today in this room, in this gallery, you see many versions of Gautama Buddha, and he needs no introduction. His image doesn't need any introduction, but all I can say is the artworks in this exhibition have exceeded my expectation, and I'm very proud of the artists for having had rendered such incredible renditions, incredible artworks for the exhibition. Of course, the very important part of the evening is, of course, having His Excellency, Mr. Ashraf, here with us, High Commissioner of India to Singapore, a keen supporter, a very strong supporter of the arts and culture, and a wonderful human being. I take this chance to say that too. And he's a humble human being, and something very attractive about him in every way. Yeah, I mean it is. And I take this chance with great pride to invite His Excellency to say a few words about the exhibition.
Well spoken, Vidhya, except for the last bit.
Thank you.
No, I've seen the way you write usually when you curate, and it's usually always outstanding. Gnana, always pleasure to be here. This is nice to be back over here. But to inaugurate something on Buddha, I thought we might have been better in silent contemplation and meditation than in words. But let me say just a few things. One, of course, is that it's a wonderful subject to choose, particularly at a time of Vesak, but also in a more general sense at a time of great strife and troubles in the world. And this is when you recognize and realize the enduring message of Lord Buddha, of peace and harmony, of frugality, of selflessness, of non-attachment, compassion, and all that would make the world more beautiful, and all that attracted the universe to him, really speaking. But when I was looking through the paintings today, I was reminded of the journey of Buddhism throughout Asia and to the rest of the world. And when you see the map and when you think of the times when people from state of Bihar, what is present-day state of Bihar, from Gaya, monks went out, Ashoka said, and monks came in. And that journey to west of India and then through the mighty Himalayan Hindu Kush passes up into Central Asia, then across the great plateau of Tibet into Mongolia, China, and then on to Korea and Japan, and then the southern route through sea that took it to Southeast Asia besides Sri Lanka. It's truly makes you wonder how they achieved it. But what it also did was in that process evolved very distinct styles of art associated with Lord Buddha and Buddhism. I've had the privilege of seeing it in many different countries, and almost there are always this wonderful local influences. And really when you think of that it has become perhaps one of the most seen, one of the most visited manifestations of human achievements today in Southeast Asia and elsewhere is art, sculpture, temples, or images associated with Lord Buddha. Ironically, he didn't want it. As we all know, that he didn't want himself to be deified or to be converted into an icon. But human beings, as T.S. Eliot said, no philosophy is stupid, free from the stupidity of its followers, or from the making of its. No, but really, in a sense, the reason people do it, in a sense, is because they need to have a concrete manifestation of their inner experiences. And they take different forms, and they take different forms in the words, in images, in music, in creation of out of bricks. And this is what I've seen across Asia. I've been to Xi'an, where I've seen monks, images of monks looking like those from Gujarat or Rajasthan, and that just shows you how people manifest their own personal experiences. I've seen that in Japan, or in Anuradhapura in Sri Lanka, in Kandan Monastery in Mongolia. Ancient images that survive so well because of weather and climate supports it. They're dry and cold, and many of them we are trying to now put into microfilm. But when you see that common thread through it all, their expressions reflect the local cultures. So you'll have what I call the northern route, and then there's the southern route. And each of that reflects the local experiences, local expressions, and local cultures. But there's something common in it, and that is what I see here also. It's meditative Buddha, it is the contemplative Buddha, it's the serene Buddha, it's the journey inwards. And in whichever way we express it, we are really expressing our own experiences, our own images. And when you just see how many different forms it has manifested itself, you see the magnificent Tibetan tankas, you see it manifested in Vajra, the thunderbolt, see the symbolism of lion in Buddhism. You see the mandala art, and you see, of course, those magnificent statues and temples and viharas across Asia. And again, you see the Chinese architecture, you see the Indian architecture, you see that in the Southeast architecture. But everywhere whenever you go, you see that common spirit that unites that belief, that unites our own experiences. And today, as I was walking through this, I felt the same thing, that in different ways people are saying the same thing. And that is exactly what art and painting is about, is that there are inner feelings, inner consciousness, inner experiences that gradually take on a visual form. And it is not something that happens because you sit down at a place and with an easel and you start doing it. It's a creation that begins within, as it is with any other form of art. And today, again, that message of Lord Buddha is to be seen in every painting, in every work that I see here. And each one tells you that people who have done it are not just artists, but in some way profoundly influenced by the message that is so eternal and enduring. And I think by doing this, what you have also brought to focus is that if people were actually thinking about it, there will be something that they will live by in these days, in these troubled times, and maybe help make the world a better place, make their community, families, and societies a better place. So this is not just art, but also an experiment in making a more harmonious society. So thank you very much. Congratulations again.
That was a lovely speech. Thank you very much, especially the last sentence, and for giving us a global importance. And now I'd like to take the opportunity now itself. Okay, he prefers to give you now before the certificates. Yes. So this is I take great pleasure in presenting this token of appreciation. Maker, who's actually a Bengali artist. And, yes, so an artwork to add to your collection. Yes, yeah.
Thank you so much for being more than generous.
And it's original,
anyway,
yeah, not a print.
Always a great, yeah, no, I know.
Never a print for you, or for anybody.
Really the work you're doing in supporting art, both of you, it's not just the work that you do as a brilliant artist. And again, congratulations. But I must say also a word which I forgot, that the kind of support you provided in putting together an outstanding art exhibition in Pravasi Bharatiya Divas was truly amazing. And I think it, in a sense, brought so much life, color, and vibrancy to the event. And well, do it despite your busy schedule in such a selfless manner, the way you wrote the curation. That was perfect. I mean, that was the only thing that couldn't be touched. So well done. Thank you very much.